Hello, it's Phil Swann here again with another episode of Together, looking at well-being, good mental health, and the Christian hope. And of course, as we're back now in December with Together, we're going to look as well at trying to connect some of these themes with the Christmas story. I wonder what your favorite 4 Christmas words are. Well, certainly there are words which are very popular at Christmas. Somebody has suggested that the 4 most popular words at Christmas are batteries are not included, or please go to bed, or had too much food. Where is the Alka-Seltzer? I guess there are many other series of 4 words that might sum up Christmas, or at least some aspect of Christmas. But at the center of the Christian message are words that speak to one of the most common, essential human experiences. And we might say adverse experiences. And they are the words, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. Interestingly, in the Christmas story, those words are said to Joseph when he's thinking about divorcing his wife-to-be, Mary. Do not be afraid to take Mary as your wife. Those words were spoken by Gabriel to Mary herself when he appears and she is shocked. Do not be afraid. They're the words that the angels say to the shepherds when suddenly their world is intruded upon by eternity. Do not be afraid. And way back, they were words spoken to Zechariah, the father of John the Baptist, Jesus' cousin. Do not be afraid. It's fascinating how often in the account of the birth of Jesus, the words do not be afraid are found. Now, I don't know about you, but there's been a lot to be afraid of during this past year. We don't want to dwell on that. It's just a fact, isn't it? But with this pandemic and with the COVID experience, it's brought great uncertainty. And with uncertainty comes fear. And those fears can be very deep and found within our hearts. Fear is a breeding ground for anxiety. In all of those accounts of the account with Joseph or with Mary or with the shepherds or with Zechariah, those words do not fear are words that are spoken to anxious, troubled hearts. In that Christmas carol, while shepherds watched, it has the line, for mighty dread had seized their troubled minds. And of course, there are times in life when mighty dread seizes your heart, your mind, and mine as well. And how we respond is a normal human response. Response to anxiety is entirely normal. We can feel it deeply in our body. We can also see and experience it in our thoughts. And as our bodies and our thoughts are affected inevitably, it can affect our behavior. The good news is there's many things in our world today that God in his common grace and mercy has given to us to help with anxiety. And we've explored some of these earlier in the year in Together. And if you go on our YouTube page, you'll be able to see some of the things that we've been able to advise on. We've spoken about the importance of breathing correctly or using breathing as a tool to help us with our anxiety. We've talked about the value of exercise. We talked about the importance of talking and writing our story. And of course, there's always the importance of thinking. These things can be a great help. But in the middle of all of this, these words, do not be afraid, we need to pause and be reminded that they are words that come to us on earth from heaven. The announcement to us in our distress and in our anxiety from heaven is do not be afraid. Why not? Well, all of those statements in the birth account of Jesus ultimately point to him. He comes to bring peace. He comes to bring comfort. He comes to bring reassurance. And as he comes, he understands us. For he comes to us as one of us. And whatever you may be experiencing in your life in these days, however troubled you may feel, however anxious, however isolated from others through your anxiety, however overwhelmed sometimes by it, here is the Christian hope and comfort. Jesus Christ, because he is both God and man, understands what it is to experience distress of heart, distress of soul, and anxiety of mind. I hope you're able to find comfort in that, because I know that sometimes the anxieties that we carry can be of such a pitch that we feel that nobody understands. But the Christian gospel says there is one who understands. There is one who gets you, and he cares, and he is Almighty God. And so amongst the common grace things that we may use to alleviate our anxiety, and I trust you find many of these things helpful, never forget, there is one who really understands and who really cares and came into our world to bring life and healing and good news. His name is Jesus Christ.